It's an election year in America.
Yeah.
What impact does that have on preaching, if any?
I see no reason for a preacher to engage the election. I had a chance to talk to Senator Obama on the phone, and I knew that I'd only get to talk to him for a few minutes, and so I was thinking about what I wanted to tell him. He was a very charming man, and so I knew that I would be in this sort of in this very charming conversation. He really is. He's a wonderful person. He's a politician. He knows how to do this. And I had one thing. I knew that I could tell him one thing that he might remember. And I said, Senator, the thing that's going to happen to you after you're elected, I said, a charming thing to say. I said, the thing that's going to happen to you after you're elected is that you are going to feel greater and greater empathy for George W. Bush. And that he was sort of taken aback by that. And he said, I think you're right. I think that preaching has to look beyond the election. The country will go on, and our lives will go on. Our lives are not going to be fundamentally changed by this election.
Mm-hmm. So Pastor Inkvist has come down to the big city for this homiletics festival. He's out there with these 2,000 preachers. Mm-hmm. What advice do you give to him and the rest of us about our preaching?
My advice to him would be to ignore my advice and to do the best he can. I mean, I try to be better myself, and I try to stay focused on doing the news from Lake Wobegon. I always do it with a tremendous sense of regret afterward. I have no feeling of success ever, seldom. And most of the time I finish the show with this feeling of defeat and and having had this wonderful opportunity and having wasted it. So I do contrition every week. I don't go out and celebrate after the show. I really feel down. But this passes. And you keep coming back. And you keep coming back and doing it. And you climb the stairs one more time. And you keep trying. And as long as you do, then there's always the possibility for grace, and this in the end is what we live by. You encounter somebody, I encounter somebody who remembers a story that I told 20 years ago. I don't remember it at all. I have no recollection. But they remember it, and they tell me my own story back. And now I can sort of faintly remember something like this. But they remember it, and that's all that matters. I had no sense of success about it. I had a feeling of failure and unworthiness and mortification. But that person got something. So, good enough.
Thank you, Mr. Keillor, for your insights on preaching. We're grateful to have had this conversation with you. What we do week after week is a challenge, and your humor and wisdom, I suspect, will be helpful to those who have heard you at this Festival of Homiletics. We're grateful. Thank you very much.